Zerkane, a traditional Iranian gymnasium where Varzashi Bastani, the ancient sport, is practiced. Zerkanes, plural of Zerkane. Dara, alternative form of Zerna. Daras, plural of Zerla. Zerlite, a white or green Vesuvian mineral. Thera, alternative form of Zerna. Armas, plural of Zerma. Der, a surname. Erna, a double reed outdoor wind instrument, usually accompanied by a davul bass drum in Anatolian folk music. Arnas, plural of Zerna. Is, plural of Zern. Zura, a town in Dabao, Bays, Guangxi, China. Zuracapot, a Spanish drink similar to sangria of red wine and fruit. Zuracapotes, plural of Zuracapot. Zervanism, a now extinct branch of Zoroastrianism that had the divinity Zervan as its primordial creator deity. Zervanite, a follower of Zervanism. Zervanites, plural of Zervanite. Zui, a city in Kitagawa Prefecture, Japan. Auspis disease, a rare recurrent condition characterized by draining abscesses around the nipple. Zuskatkins disease, synonym of Zuska's disease. Zuzmanai, a hydrated iron-rich silicate, found as a pale green crystal with perfect cleavage. Zuzmanites, plural of Zuzmanite. Utara, the ship of characters Zuko and Katara from the animated television series Avatar, The Last Airbender. Delo, a traditional rice wine brewed in Nagaland, a thick white beverage with a fruity aroma and sour taste. Datsun, a city in Gelderland, Netherlands. Zotugel, obsolete form of Tzutugel. Zotugels, plural of Zutugel. Zufuhel, obsolete form of Tzutugel. Zutuhels, plural of Zutuhel. Zunkara, a city in Mongolia. Uma, a city in Terv, Mongolia. Iloval, a region of Cape Colony corresponding to modern-day Albany, South Africa. Zuvalt, alternative form of Zuavel. Zuar, a city, the capital of Nukat al-Khams district, northwest Libya. But, an ancient Hebrew silver coin, 1/4 of a shekel. The alternative form of Zuz ancient Hebrew coin. There is plural of Zuza. There is plural of Zuz. Zuza, a tribe who lived in Ham, a land east of the Jordan River between Bashan and Moab, and were conquered by an invading coalition of kings. Duzite, a member of the Zuzan people. Duzites, plural of Zuzite. Udab, plural of Zaz. Theyuanets, an agro-town in Rahacha Rain, Gomel Oblast, Belarus. Deyuano, a small grassroots work group within Soviet collective farms. Deyuanos, plural of Zivino. Zivenya, plural of Zivino. Ziveni Worodka, a city and rayon of Cherkasy Oblast, Ukraine. Zayvarena, a surname from Czech. Zayavata, village in Targovishte province, Bulgaria. Zvezdagrad, synonym of Baikonur. Zayavihal, a city and rayon of Zhytomyr Oblast, Ukraine. Zvishavane, a town in the province of Midland, Zimbabwe. Zvonimir, a male given name from the Slavic languages. Zvorstia, a commune of Suceava County, Romania. Zvijanite, a colorless mineral found in Russia. Zvijantsevite, a white opaque metallic mineral with the chemical formula PDPT OPBSN. CW system, a system for characterizing the sex of certain animals, such as butterflies and Komodo dragons, in which males have two of the same kind of sex cells EZ and females have two distinct sex cells CW. Zwanziger, an Austrian silver coin equivalent to 20 kreutzers. Zwanziger, plural of Zwanziger. De Wort, a surname. De Wortbulls, a sheep of a domestic breed originating in the Friesland region of the Netherlands, having mostly dark fleece with white extremities and a white blaze on the face. De Wort Piet, a lac Peter. De Wort Waterland, a municipality of Overijssel, Netherlands. De Worts, plural of Zwart. De Wastica, a Z letter used by Russian nationalists, usually to support Vladimir Putin or the Russian invasion of Ukraine. De Wastikas, plural of Swastika. Declarational, pursued after evaluating its consequences and consideration of the various means to achieve it. Declarationality, technical rationality, rationality in accordance with organizational demands instead of moral demands. Declarationality, quality of being declarational. Zweibing, the Webians, plural of Zweibing. The Weifach, a surname from German. The Weifachs, plural of Weifach. Zweigelt, a red wine grape of a variety developed and mostly grown in Austria. Zweigelts, plural of Zweigelt. Zweigern, of or relating to Austrian writer Stefan Zweig, 1881–1942. Zweihander, alternative form of Zweihander. Zweihander, a two-handed sword primarily of Renaissance Germany, up to a fathom in length, invented in the 14th century. Zweihanders, plural of Zweihander. Zweihanders, plural of Zweihander. Zweikanter, a type of pebble that has two curved faces formed by wind-blown sand. Zweikanters, plural of Zweikanter. Zweiluscheinen, a hamlet in Gundlischwand, Bern Canton, Switzerland. Zweisimmen, a municipality in Bern Canton, Switzerland. The word Spitz, synonym of Pomeranian dog breed. The word Spitzy, plural of Zwerspitz. The word Spitzes, plural of Zwerspitz. The Weddau, a town in Austria. Tui, a surname. Tuica, a town and rural district of Saxony, Germany. De Wigger, a surname. De Wiggers, plural of Zwicker. Uix, plural of Zwick. Doi, a township in the Eastern Cape, South Africa. Tuipak, a form of rusk, usually sweetened bread enriched with eggs that is baked and then sliced and toasted until dry and crisp, considered easy to digest and therefore given to the ill and used as a teething food for toddlers. Zwiebachts, plural of Zwiebach. Zwiebelein, any of a series of 1-3 disattain compounds attainable from the onion. Zwiebelans, plural of Zwiebelein. Zwieselite, a brown to black mineral containing manganese, iron, phosphorus, oxygen, and fluorine. Dwijndrecht, a municipality of South Holland, Netherlands. Dwelling, a surname from German. Dwellings, plural of Zwilling. Zwinger, a citadel or fortress, especially one that protects a city. Zwingers, plural of Zwinger. Zwingo, a city in Iowa, United States. Zwingli, a surname from German in turn from Alemannic German, notably borne by Ulrich Zwingli, a leader of the Reformation in Switzerland. Zwinglian, relating or referring to Zwingli, his beliefs, or his followers and adherents. Zwinglianism, Zwinglian theology. Zwinglianist, synonym of Zwinglian. Zwinglianists, plural of Zwinglianists. Zwinglians, plural of Zwinglian. Zwischenschatz, a Zwischenzug that is a check. Zwischenschatz, plural of Zwischenschatz. Zwischenzug, a tactical move which interrupts the execution of the current plan. Zwischenzugs, plural of Zwischenzug. Detergent, Zwischenjanic detergent. Detergents, plural of Zwischenjant. A molecule, such as an amino acid, that carries both a positive and a negative charge. Or pertaining to a Zwitterian. Zwitterianization, alternative form of Zwitterianization. Zwitterianization, the process of creating a Zwitterian. Zwitterianer, a polymer containing both positive and negative charges. OS, plural of Zwitterian. Zwittermycin, a novel antibiotic present in the bacterium Bacillus cereus. Zwittermycins, plural of Zwittermycin. CWJ, acronym of zero-width joiner. CWJ, plural of CWJ. ZWMSB, initialism of zero-width non-breaking space. ZWMSB, plural of ZWMBSB. CWNJ, initialism of zero-width non-joiner non-printing character used to avoid ligatures. CWNJ, plural of CWNJ. The water, a dull drowsy state, stupor. The Wallin, a town in Masovian Voivodeship, Poland. Olwinski, a surname from Polish. Olwinspiz, plural of Zwolinski. A city and capital of Overijssel Province, Netherlands. Tybovirus, any of the genus Zybovirus of plant viruses in the family Amalgaviridae. Tybine, a village in Vovchansk urban Hromada, Chuhuav Kharkiv Oblast, Ukraine, founded in 1600. A surname from Polish. Zetches, plural of zich. Didico, a form of Louisiana Creole music characteristically performed by accordion and washboard bands that combines Cajun and Creole roots music with elements of African American music. Zaya, plural of zygon. Zygesine, a particular steroidal alkaloid. Zygadine, alternative form of zygadine. Zygadines, plural of zygadine. Zygadinine, an alkaloid obtained from Zygodinus intermedius. Zygodite, a variety of albite. Zygenid, Any member of the moth family Zygonidae. Zygonids, plural of zygonid. Zygonine, of or relating to the Zygonidae, as subfamily of moths. Zygonoid, a member of the superfamily Zygonoidea. Zygonoids, plural of zygonoid. Zyo, shaped like a yolk, or like the letter H. Zygentra, plural of zygentrum. Zygentral, relating to a zygentrum. Zygentrum, a depression on the back of a vertebrae into which the zygosphene fits. Zygapophyseal, of or pertaining to the zygapophysis. Zygapophyses, plural of zygapophysis. Zygopaphysio, of or pertaining to zygapophysis. Zygapophysis, one of the articular processes of the vertebra of which there are usually 4 to superior and 2 inferior. Zygona, of or pertaining to moths in the family Zygonidae. Zygonets, plural of zygonid. Zygentomen, of or pertaining to the order Zygentoma, or to the primitive wingless insects in that order. Zygentomens, plural of Zygentomen. An ancient people described by Strabo as a nation to the north of Colchis. Zygon, a craniometric point at each end of the zygomatic diameter. Zygens, plural of zygon. Zygite, a rower of the middle tier in a trireme. Zygites, plural of zygite. Zygmunt, a surname from Polish. Zygmunts, plural of Zygmunt. Signimaceous, relating to or characteristic of algae of the genus Zygnema. Zygnematation, any green alga of the family Zygnemataceae. Zygnemataceous, belonging to the Zygnemataceae. Zygnematophycean, any green alga of the class Zygnematophyceae. Zygnematophyceans, plural of Zygnematophycean. Zygnematophyte, Zygnematophycean. Zygnematophytes, plural of Zygnematophyte. Zygnome, directly involved or related. Zygo, Zygopophyseal, alternative form of zygopophyseal. Zygopophyseal, alternative form of zygopophyseal. Zygobulbid, any extinct ostracod of the family Latin cross Zygobulbidae. Zygobranch, a zygobranchiate mollusk. Zygobranchiate, of or pertaining to the zygobranchia. Zygobranchus, of or pertaining to the zygobranchia. Zygobranchiate. Zygobranch, plural of zygobranch. Zygocacti, plural of zygocactus. Zygocactus, any cactus in the genus Schlumbergera, previously Zygocactus. Zygocactus, yolk-like and cardiac, applied to an ossicle of the stomach of some crustaceans. Zygocondyle, a paired condyle in the calcite skeleton of some brittle stars. Zygocondyles, plural of zygocondyle. Zygodactyle, having 2 toes pointing forward and 2 pointing backward. Zygodactylus. Zygodactyly, the zygodactylus birds in a restricted sense, applied to a division of birds which includes the barbets, toucans, honey guides, and other related birds. Zygodactyle, alternative form of zygodactyle. Zygodactyls, plural of zygodactyle. Zygodactylic, alternative spelling of Zygodactylus. Zygodactylism. Synonym of zygodactyly. Zygodactylus. Having two toes pointing forward and two toes pointing backward. Zygodactyls. Plural of zygodactyl. Zygodactyly. The condition of having two toes facing forward and two backward, as in some birds and chameleons. Zygodactyly. Obsolete spelling of zygodactyly. Zygodont. Having or relating to molar teeth whose cusps are paired. Zygophabogen. Synonym of harmon and indole alkaloid. Zygogenesis. Zygote formation. Zygogenetic. Relating to zygogenesis. Zygoid. Of or relating to a zygote or to zygosis. Zygocrotaphic. Of a caecilian, having a skull with an open temporal region. Zygocrotaphy. The trait of having a zygocrotaphic skull. Zydolith. A form of coccolithophore having an elliptical ring with arches. Zygoliths. Plural of zygolith. Zygolobus. Of the prostomium, not demarcated from the peristome. Zygology. The science of fastening things together. Zygoma. The cheekbone. Zygomas. Plural of zygoma. Zygomaceteric. Relating to the zygomatic bone and the masseter. Zygomata. Plural of zygoma. Zygomatic. Of relating to or located in the area of the zygomatic bone or zygomatic arch. Zygomatic arch. An arch formed by the zygomatic process of the temporal bone and the temporal process of the zygomatic bone. Zygomatic arches. Plural of zygomatic arch. Zygomatic bone. The cheekbone. Zygomatic bones. Plural of zygomatic bone. Zygomatic nerve. A branch of the maxillary nerve that divides into a facial branch supplying the skin of the prominent part of the cheek and a temporal branch supplying the skin of the anterior temporal region. Zygomatic nerves. Plural of zygomatic nerve. Zygomatic process. A protrusion from the rest of the skull, most of it belonging to the zygomatic bone, but also contributed to by the frontal bone, maxilla, and temporal bone. Zygomatic processes. Plural of zygomatic process. Zygomatically. With respect to the zygoma. Zygomatici. Plural of zygomaticus. Zygomatici majors. Plural of zygomaticus major. Zygomatici minors. Plural of zygomaticus minor. Zygomatico. Zygoma, zygomatic. Zygomaticomandibularis. Alternative form of zygomaticomandibularis. Zygomaticomaxillary. Alternative form of zygomaticomaxillary. Zygomaticoorbital. Relating to the zygomatic arch and the orbit. Zygomaticoalveolar. Relating to the zygomatic bone and the alveolar ridge. Zygomaticoauricular. Relating to the zygomatic bone and auricle. Zygomatic auricularis. A muscle located between the zygomatic arch and the ear. Zygomaticofacial. Relating to the zygomatic bone and face. Zygomaticofacial foramen. A foramen in the zygomatic bone that gives passage to the zygomaticofacial branch of the zygomatic nerve. Zygomaticofacial foramina. Plural of zygomaticofacial foramen. Zygomaticofacial nerve. A branch of the zygomatic nerve that supplies the skin of the prominent part of the cheek. Zygomaticofacial nerves. Plural of zygomaticofacial nerve. Zygomatic offrontal, relating to the zygomatic bone and frontal bone. Zygomatic omalar, relating to the cheek and cheekbone. Zygomatic mandibular, relating to the zygomatic mandibularis. Zygomatic mandibularis, plural of zygomatic mandibularis. Zygomatic mandibularis, a small muscle that attaches to the medial surface of the zygomatic arch. Zygomatic maxillary, relating to the zygomatic bone and maxilla. Zygomatic orbital, alternative form of zygomatic orbital. Zygomatic sphenoid, relating to the zygomatic bone and sphenoid bone. Zygomatic temporal, relating to the zygomatic arch and the temporal bone. Zygomatic temporal foramen, a foramen in the zygomatic bone that gives passage to the zygomatic temporal branch of the zygomatic nerve. Zygomatic temporal foramina, plural of zygomatic temporal foramen. Zygomatic temporal nerve, a branch of the zygomatic nerve that supplies the skin of the anterior temporal region. Zygomatic temporal nerves, plural of zygomatic temporal nerve. Zygomatic temporalis, a zygomatic temporal muscle. Zygomatics, plural of zygomatic. Zygomaticum, the zygoma or cheekbone. Zygomaticus, one of several small subcutaneous facial muscles arising from or in relation with the zygomatic bone. Zygomaticus major, a slender band of muscle on each side of the face that arises from the zygomatic bone, inserts into the orbicularis oris and skin at the corner of the mouth, and acts to pull the corner of the mouth upward and backward when smiling or laughing. Zygomaticus minor, a slender band of muscle on each side of the face that arises from the zygomatic bone, inserts into the upper lip between the zygomaticus major and the levator labii superioris and acts to raise the upper lip upward and laterally. Zygomaturine, any extinct marsupial of the subfamily Zygomaturinae. Zygomaturines, plural of zygomaturine. Zygomaxillary, a craniometric point at the base of the suture between the zygomatic and maxillary bones. Zygomaxillaria, plural of zygomaxillary. Zygomaxillary, relating to the cheekbone and maxilla upper jawbone. Zygomectomy, surgical removal or excision of the cheekbone. Zygomtrid, any echinoderm in the family Zygomtridae. Zygomorph, any zygomorphic plant. Zygomorphic, having bilateral symmetry. Zygomorphically, in a zygomorphic manner. Zygomorphism, bilateral symmetry in flowers. Zygomorphous, zygomorphic. Zygomorphs, plural of zygomorph. Zygomorphy, the quality of being zygomorphic. Zygomycete, an organism of the phylum Zygomycota. Zygomycetes, plural of zygomycete. Zygomystis, of or relating to the zygomycetes. Zygomycosis, plural of zygomycosis. Zygomycosis, an infection caused by bread mold fungi. Zygomycotin, any fungus of the division Zygomycota. Zygomycotins, plural of zygomycotin. Zygomycotic, of or pertaining to zygomycosis. Zygon, an affinity or connection in a piece of music between tones, chords, or phrases, such that one part appears to repeat, to imitate, or to derive from the other, especially when perceived as an organizing principle in the music, as a zygonic relationship. Zygoma, the zygotine stage of meiosis. Zygonura, a neuron that connects to other nerve cells. Zygoneurus, plural of zygoneura. Zygoneurus, exhibiting or relating to zygonury. Zygonury, an exaggerated form of dilinury. Nigonic, of or relating to the theory that imitation is the ultimate organizing force in music. Zygons, plural of zygon. Zygoptalum, any of the genus Zygoptalum of South American orchids. Zygoptalums, plural of zygoptalum. Zygophore, a specialized hyphal branch giving rise to isogametes that unite to produce a zygospore. Zygophores, plural of zygophore. Zygophoric, relating to a zygophore. Zygophyllaceous, of or relating to the families Zygophyllaceae of bean capers, caltrops, and related plants. Zygophyte, any plant of a formerly proposed class or grand division. Zygophytes, Zygophyta, or Zygospore, in which reproduction consists in the union of two similar cells. Zygophytes, plural of zygophyte. Zygophytic, relating to zygophytes. Zygoplural, having bilateral symmetry. Zygoplurid, any member of the Zygopluridae. Zygoplurids, plural of zygoplurid. Zygopod, alternative form of zygopodium. Zygopodia, plural of zygopodium. Zygopodio, relating to zygopodia. Zygopodium, the ideana or tibiofibular portion of an embryonic limb. Zygopods, plural of zygopod. Zygopophyses, plural of zygopophysis. Zygopophysis, one of the articular processes of the neural arch of a vertebra. Zygopteran, any of various insects of the order Zygoptera, damselfly. Zygopterans, plural of zygopteran. Zygopterid, a member of the Zygopteridae, an extinct family of ferns with an order Osmanales having three-dimensional fronds with pinnae in 4 ranks and a rat size that is radially symmetrical in cross-section. Zygopterids, plural of zygopterid. Zygopterus, belonging to the Zygoptera. Zygos, a zygote. Zygoses, plural of zygosis. Zygosis, the union of gametes to form a zygote. Conjugation. Zygosities, plural of zygosity. Zygosity, the quality or characteristics of a zygote. Zygosperm, a spore formed by the union of the contents of two similar cells, either of the same or of distinct individual plants. They are found in certain orders of algae and fungi. Zygosperms, plural of zygosperm. Zygosphenol, relating to a zygosphene. Zygosphene, a median process on the front part of the neural arch of the vertebrae of most snakes and some lizards, which fits into a fossa called the zygentrum on the back part of the arch in front. Zygospenes, plural of zygosphene. Zygosphere, a plant's gamete which can form a zygospore by uniting with a similar one. Zygospheres, plural of zygosphere. Zygospondylus, having paired spondyles. Zygosporamide, a cyclopeptide found in Zygosporium masonii. Zygosporangia, plural of zygosporangium. Zygosporangium, relating to the zygosporangium. Zygosporangium, a sporangium which produces a single zygospore. Zygospore, a zygosperm. Zygospores, plural of zygospore. Zygosporic, relating to a zygospore. Zygosynepiphyseal, that joins or unites synepiphyses. Zygotatic, relating to zygotaxis. Zygothal, pertaining to or connected with a zygote. Zygotaxis, the attraction of two zygospores. Zygote, a eukaryotic cell formed from the fusion of two gametes reproductive cells during a fertilization process. Zygote-like, resembling or characteristic of a zygote. Zygotene, the intimate pairing of homologous chromosomes during the synaptic stage of meiosis. Zygotenes, plural of zygotene. Zygotenic, relating to zygotene. Zygotes, plural of zygote. Zygotic, of, pertaining to or existing as a zygote. Zygotically, by means of, or in terms of, zygosis. Zygotoblast, an undeveloped sporozoan produced by multiple fission of a zygote. Zygotoblasts, plural of zygotoblast. Zygotoid, the product of the union of gametoids, analogous to a zygote. Zygotoids, plural of zygotoi. Zygotomer, sporoblasts. Zygotomers, plural of zygotomer. Zygotospore, a zygotic spore of some red algae. Zygotospores, plural of zygotospore. Zygozoospore, a spore formed by the union of several zoospores. Zygozoospores, plural of zygozoospore. Zygate, a dull, soft, translucent grayish-white mineral consisting of arsenic, hydrogen, iron, sulfur, and oxygen. Zyklon B, a pesticide consisting of hydrocyanic acid absorbed on pellets of diatomaceous earth. When exposed to the air, hydrogen cyanide is released, used most infamously during the Nazi Holocaust in some gas chambers. Zyklon B, alternative form of Zyklon B. Zyla, a surname from Polish. Zylas, plural of Zyla. Xylazine, misspelling of xylazine. Xylophyramine, a stimulant drug developed in the 1960s. Xylon, a synthetic polymer material, a range of thermoset liquid crystalline polyoxazole developed in the 1980s. Xylonite, misspelling of xylonite. Xylonites, plural of xylonite. Xylophone, archaic form of xylophone. Xylophones, plural of xylophone. Zylstra, a surname from West Frisian. Zylstras, plural of Zylstra. The alternative form of zymo before a vowel. Zynet, the organism responsible for a zymotic or infectious disease, the contagion vivum. Zynet, plural of zynat. Thymase, any of a group of enzymes that catalyze the fermentation of simple carbohydrates to ethanol and carbon dioxide. Thymases, plural of zymase. Thymo, a ferment. Zymes, plural of zyme. Zymic, pertaining to or produced by fermentation. Thymine, an enzyme, especially one used medicinally. Dians, plural of zymin. Zymo, fermentation, fermentational. Zymozyl, a Parthian xylophone augmented with everyday articles such bottles and hubcaps. Zymoxyles, plural of zymoxyle. Zymocarpus refers to a genus of tropical American plants of the family Cucurbidaceae. Zymocidal, capable of killing yeast. Zymicide, one who kills yeast. Zymicides, plural of zymicide. Thymosin, a chitinase toxin present in yeast. Zymodium, a group of parasites with the same isoenzymes. Zymodimes, plural of zymodium. Zymogen, a proenzyme or enzyme precursor which requires a biochemical change, i.e. hydrolysis, to become an active form of the enzyme. Zymogene, one of a physiological group of globular bacteria that produce fermentations of diverse nature, distinguished from pathogene. Zymogenes, plural of zymogene. Zymogenesis, the transformation of a zymogen into an enzyme. Zymogenic, pertaining to or formed by a zymogene. Zymogenous, causing fermentation. Zymogens, plural of zymogen. Zymogram, a strip of electrophoretic material on which enzymes are visibly separated through histochemical methods, for example by zone electrophoresis. Zymograms, plural of zymogram. Zymograph, an image produced by zymography. Zymographic, of or pertaining to zymography. Zymographically, in terms of zymography. Zymographies, plural of zymography. Zymographs, plural of zymograph. Zymography, a form of electrophoresis used in the study of enzyme activity. Zymohexase, aldolase. Zymohexases, plural of zymohexase. Zymoheria, a city in Luhansk Oblast, Ukraine. Zymohydrolysis, fermentation induced by the absorption of water. Zymoid, resembling a zymin or ferment enzyme. Zymolase, alternative form of zymolase. Zymolases, plural of zymolase. Zymolectin, a lectin present in yeast. Zymolectins, plural of zymolectin. Zymologic, a war pertaining to zymology, zymological. Zymological, of or pertaining to zymology, zymologic. Zymologist, one who is skilled in zymology or in the fermentation of liquors. Zymologists, plural of zymologists. Zymology, the chemistry of fermentation with yeasts, especially the science involved in beer making and winemaking. Zymurgy. Zydolase, a commercial enzyme preparation that lyses the cell walls of yeast cells. Zymolases, plural of zymolase. Zymolysis, the action of enzymes in breaking down organic substances during fermentation. Zymolytic, causing fermentation. Zymome, alternative form of zymome. Zymome, a glutinous substance insoluble in alcohol resembling legumin. Thymometer, an instrument for ascertaining the degree of fermentation occasioned by the mixture of different liquids and the degree of heat which they acquire in fermentation. Zymometers, plural of zymometer. Zymophagy, autophagy of zymogen granules. Zynophore, the active part of an enzyme that is responsible for its function. Zymophores, plural of zymophore. Zymophoric. Relating to a zymophore. Zymophosphate. A catalyst that aids in the digestion of sugars. Zymophosphates. Plural of zymophosphate. Zymophide. A fermentation produced by bacteria, yeasts, or similar microorganisms. Zymophytes. Plural of zymophyte. Zymoplastic. That converts a substance such as a proenzyme into an enzyme. Zymoprotein. A protein that acts as an enzyme or a coenzyme in a biochemical reaction. Zymosin. An insoluble carbohydrate obtained from the cell walls of yeast, used in the bioassay of blood. A protein chemical reaction. Zymosin. An insoluble carbohydrate obtained from the cell walls of yeast, used in the bioassay of blood serum. Zymosins. Plural of zymosin. Zymoscope. Synonym of zymometer. Zymoscopes. Plural of zymoscope. Zymos. Inverted. Zymoses. Plural of zymosis. Zymosimeter. An instrument for ascertaining the degree of fermentation occasioned by the mixture of different liquids and the degree of heat which they acquire in fermentation. Zymosimeters. Plural of zymosimeter. Zymosis. A fermentation, hence an analogous process by which an infectious disease is believed to be developed. Zymosterol. A cholesterol intermediate. Zymosterols. Plural of zymosterol. Dymosterone. The steroid ketone cholesta 8,9,24-dene-3,1 related to zymosterol. Zymosthenic. Tending to strengthen the activity of an enzyme. Zymotechnic. Relating to zymotechnics. Zymotechnical. Relating to zymotechnics. Zymotechnics. The applied science and technology of fermentation. Zymotechnological. Relating to zymotechnics. Zymotechnologist. One who studies zymotechnics. Zymotechnologists. Plural of zymotechnologists. Zymotechnology. Synonym of zymotechnics. Zymotechny. Synonym of zymotechnics. Zymotherapy. Therapy based on naturally occurring enzymes. Zymotic. Of or causing fermentation. Zymotically. In a zymotic manner, infectiously. Zymotics. Zymotic diseases collectively. Zymotoxic. Denoting that group of the complement to which its solvent properties are due in accordance with the supposition that it may be of ferment nature. Zymotype. A type typically of an enzyme produced by fermentation. Zymotypes. Plural of zymotype. Zymexin. A chimeric toxin that has been engineered by the addition of zymogens. Zymexins. Plural of zymexin. Zymosin. Misspelling of zymosin. Zymergic. Relating to zymergy. Zymergical. Relating to zymergy. Zymergus. One who studies or practices zymergy, a knowledgeable brewer. Zymergists. Plural of zymergus. Zymergy. Synonym of zymology, the chemistry of fermentation with yeasts, especially the science involved in beer making and wine making. A brand of tobacco-free snus nicotine pouches originating from Sweden. Zenfluencer. An influencer who promotes the consumption of Zyn nicotine pouches. Zenfluencers. Plural of Zinfluencer. Zinning. The consumption of Zyn nicotine pouches. Plural of Zyn. Zenteras. an online subculture associated with sports betting, frat culture, college sports, and consuming Zin, a brand of tobacco-free snus. The Life, a language that is part of the Sino-Tibetan language family. Zyprexa, a trade name for the drug olanzapine. Zyrardo, a town in Masovian Voivodeship, Poland. Iranian, alternative form of Zyrian. Iranians, plural of Zyrenian. Zyrian, a Finnic language spoken by the Komi people. Zyrians, plural of Zyrian. Alternative form of Zyrian. Zyriga, an urban-type settlement in Sakha, Russia. Zyrians, plural of Zyrian. Yaz, a surname. A surname from Polish. Zygalski, a surname from Polish. Zygalskis, plural of Zyskowski. That is, plural of Zisk. Ditham, obsolete spelling of Zitham. Dithepsaries, plural of Zithepsary. Dithepsary, a brewery. Zithological, relating to the science or research of zithology. Zithology, the study of beer and beer brewing. Zithophile, a person who loves beer. Zithophiles, plural of zithophile. Zithozimase, an enzyme. Zithophile, zithophile, a person who loves beer. Zithophiles, plural of zithophile. Zithozimase, an enzyme in yeast, also found in certain fungi. Zithum, an unfermented kind of Egyptian malt beer. Zitkau, a surname from Polish. Zyuganovrism, the form of present-day Russian communism advocated by Gennady Zyuganov and his party. Zywiki, a surname from Polish. Zywikis, plural of Zywiki. Zywaj, a city in Poland. X, an ancient region located on the northern slopes of the Western Caucasus. Ixin, a certain zinc-binding phosphoprotein, or the gene which produces it. Ixins, plural of Zyxin. A tropical American weevil of the genus Ziziva. Plural of Ziziva. TZ plant, the Oid plant Zamyakolpizami folia. TZ plants, plural of ZZ plant. CZCW system, alternative form of ZW system. AX, a settlement in San Bernardino County, California, United States. A snoring sound implying that somebody is asleep. These simple past and past participle of ZZZ. ZZang, present participle and gerund of ZZZ. As, Ileto, a town in Greater Poland Voivodeship, Poland. Iloti, alternative form of Zloty. Ilotes, plural of Zloty. Evan, a nonsensical expression connected to a song and a basketball player.